Hello, Sharika here again. I am your career advisor, your career advancement mentor, growth partner, helping the professional who's currently in corporate America and feeling stuck, not really sure what to do to get to their next, or they've already made that big leap and they're in the next, and now they're wondering, what's next? What do I do now? I'm no longer fulfilled. How do I find my work life balance? All of those things. And so I've been providing videos under an overall topic of effective communication, where some of the others talked about nonverbal cues, how to provide a clear and concise message, conflict management, emotional intelligence, and then our topic for today, which is compassionate communication. And hopefully, I won't hold you too long on this one. I try not to have the videos too long because if you're anything like me, get to the point and tell me what you got. Say what you need to say and then say it. And so that's what I'm going to do. All right. So without further ado, compassionate communication. So compassionate communication is the ability to exchange ideas with someone while also being empathetic to their feelings. So you can still relay a message and still have a conversation while considering their feelings, their personal situation, whatever it is. And I think this is very important when you're dealing with others because you want to acknowledge how they feel, but that doesn't mean that you still can't say what you need to say because they feel the way that they feel. I hope that makes sense. And so I have a few bullets under the overall theme of compassionate communication that I'd like to just offer as some additional guidelines and how to utilize compassionate communication and also scriptural references. Because I am a faith-based career mentor and I do like to use biblical principles to support the things and ideas that I provide. So, the first topic is listen actively. And in compassionate communication, we listen to understand, not to respond. And what we often find ourselves when we're in a conversation, especially if something is being said, if it's not the best conversation, mean it's we're talking about something negative, something someone did, something someone said or didn't do or say when they should have, we can automatically be on the defensive about, when someone says you should have, especially with that finger, but you should have done this or you should have done that, we can really become defensive. Or if someone is saying something not even necessarily about us, but just something we don't agree with, we start to now create our response in our mind and we're no longer listening to what they're saying. And so they may have started out with something completely negative and ended it on a high note and say, oh, but now I understand X. But you missed all of that because you stopped listening to understand and started listening to respond. And so one of the first things under compassionate communication is that understanding how, one, to give that person their space, give them the floor, so to speak, and make sure you're listening, engaging, and even repeating back what you've heard. Because one, that's going to help you when you do have the option to respond. Because let's say they didn't clear it up when they, had the floor. It gives you that opportunity to get clarity on what they're saying if you repeat it back and if you're actually listening to understand what they're trying to say to you. Because you may repeat it back and you're repeating back what you heard, not what they said necessarily. You may be repeating back what you heard and they can say, oh, no. I didn't mean it that way, or let me rephrase it. So again, listen to understand, not to respond. So that's the first one. And then my scriptural support for this one is James 1:19-20. Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry, because human anger does not produce the righteousness that God desires. So I think that speaks plainly for itself. Quick to listen, slow to speak. Listen to understand, not to respond. Okay, and so the second one is having an open mind. So that means acknowledging that we're all different people. We have different experiences. We come from different places, and even you can grow up with the person right next door, and you all can have two completely different sets of beliefs and upbringings and all the things, because your household environment is different than their household environment. And so opening your mind acknowledges that there are differences, and we can't expect people to only accept our differences or who we are because we think we're the norm, but we're not willing to give them that same grace. And we're always judging whatever they do or whatever they say because either it's not familiar to us or we just don't understand it or we don't like it. And so having an open mind is definitely one of the main things that is necessary in order to be able to communicate with someone compassionately. Because if you don't have an open compassionately, I don't know if that's a word, but for the sake of this video, we'll say it is. So how do you accept their feelings about something if you don't even have an open mind about that situation or who they are or how they're feeling? And so open your mind. Again, we're listening to understand because, one, we want to acknowledge that, yeah, we may come from two completely different places, but that doesn't mean that we can't take those two totally different experiences and find a way to make them work together for a common goal. And this one is one just in life, honestly, not just in the corporate space. So open your mind, being open, be accepting of who they are. You don't have to believe what they believe. You don't have to like what they believe, but having an open mind allows you to respect them for their beliefs. So the scriptural reference, 2 Timothy 2:23. Avoid foolish and ignorant disputes, knowing that they generate strife. I like that one. I'm going to say it again. 2 Timothy 2:23. Avoid foolish and ignorant disputes, knowing that they generate strife. So, I don't have to agree with you. I don't even have to like you. But because I am a professional, I will respect you as a person as well as your beliefs. And all I can do is ask that you do the same thing for me. Respect my beliefs, respect my opinions. And so that's all that having an open mind does under compassionate communication. Just accepting someone as they are. You may have two completely religious beliefs and you don't understand how in the world they believe what they believe. But that's not your business. Your job is to continue to show up each and every day in the image of Christ as a person that you were created to be, letting your light shine, acknowledging your relationship, your worship of the Lord Jesus Christ, and let that be it. It's not to try to bring your Bible in and convince them that they should be reading it, because you don't want them bringing in whatever they read or whatever they look at or whatever they worship to you. So being who you are and letting the heart of God speak for you, that's your job. All right. So last point, patience. And I think you need a little bit of patience for to listen actively, to have an open mind. You need patience. And patience is one that in my professional life, I think I've done very well. Probably not so much in my personal life, but I'm learning how to do better there as well. I don't know if I save all the professional and take it out on the personal, which is not a good thing, or what the case is, but I'm learning now to have it more even keeled in all places. Anywho, patience. Make sure you give others time to respond, time to answer, time to explain, just some time. Put on your patience hat. Take it with you every day. And put an extra one in your back seat. If you sometimes seem to leave one at home, then put an extra one in the back of your car. And of course, I'm not talking about a literal patience hat, but figuratively, put on your patience hat. Allow people to be who they are. Accept them for who they are. None of us have the right to judge anyone for anything. A sin is a sin is a sin, and we all do it. So just because I feel like your sin was greater than mine doesn't mean that that's the same belief that God has. So be patient. Give others space. Give them time. And my scriptural support for this one is Proverbs which I love that it's in Proverbs because Proverbs is a book of wisdom. Proverbs 15:18-19. And hot tempers cause arguments, but patience bring peace. I think actually this is just the 18 part. But Proverbs 15, starting with verse 18, I'll say it like that. Hot tempers cause arguments, but patience bring peace. And it does. When you're a hothead, you're just spewing out stuff, and people are going to give it right back to you. Even if that's not normally their temperament, because nobody wants to be embarrassed. Nobody wants someone to belittle them or talk down to them. And so they may end up coming right back at you with something that could have been resolved over a simple conversation. So patience. Patience brings peace, because oftentimes when you can stay at a calm level, you can keep others there. And if they tend to go up high and they get rowdy or whatever and start speaking loudly, and you stay at your same level and speaking low, they have to shut up so they know what you're saying, because they can't argue back with nothing and they can't even hear you. So that in itself makes them calm down. So again, we want to, the idea is of course to diffuse the argument, but respond in patience, respond with peace, calm. And if you don't have that, walk off, walk away, give me a minute and walk away, and then come back. All right. So again, this is compassionate communication, understanding how to listen actively, keeping an open mind, and having patience. And that will help you with your ability to exchange ideas with someone while also being empathetic to their feelings. Again, I am Sharika. Please check out my bio if you want to reach out to me. If you would like a strategy session where we can go over some of the things that you may be struggling with in your career and looking to establish some short-term goals and things that you can do, some immediate changes that you can make to help you as you navigate through your career, reach out to me through my website, Transform the Gap. You see it right there, transformthegap.com. I would love to spend some time with you and see how I can help. All right. Have a good day, and until next time, bye.